Coach Doug Schwab, after his Panthers fall 23 to 13 against the Wisconsin Badgers, if you had to sum up your team's performance today, how would you do that?
I got ridden a lot. I mean, holy cow, we got exposed. Been doing a pretty good job, like when guys are spiraling a little bit, but they deep wasted the heck out of us. And we didn't go back into it at all, so something we should probably had them obviously more prepared for, because we got ridden hard there. And just, I thought they kept their composure well. You know, other than probably 84, you know, they seemed like they finished the matches pretty strong. So to me, that's a lot of focus, maybe even some energy management before matches and those things. But I guess what we wanted, like, what I'm saying, we don't want to see this. And that's what I feel a little bit, you know, kind of up and then down, and you want to kind of keep a steady rise. I mean, a few of those matches too, you know, Albert's really controlling that guy. We got to be able to get off that hang bottom, though. You know, I think it's something. He gets off the bottom, I think it could get ugly real quick. But you got to be able to get off the bottom. Didn't clear our hips at all, and that, you know, and that kind of was kind of a theme throughout every weight class. 57. Go back and do it again. Obviously, you probably pick both up, but you know, feel like he had 47 seconds to get away, and so you kind of look at those things. I think Bryce had an opportunity to win that match. So you know, the guy's not trying to get off bottom, but you know, in my eyes, we want to get rid of that riding time, because who knows, maybe get a couple stall calls. Although I don't know if he would have got it today, but that's kind of what you're thinking. We don't want to have that still on the board. So we get that down. But you had to kind of feel when a guy's starting to grab your leg, and that reversal could end up being a huge difference, I think, in the match, because he obviously had all momentum, and he really put things in his favor and showed that he can obviously wrestle with one of the best guys in the country. You know, that guy's been a 3-time All-American, was in the finals last year, but it's not a consolation prize. I mean, I still think he had a chance to really win that match, you know, and as it went, but you're tied with a minute left in the match, so just got to have some more awareness in some positions. I mean, we're beating guys from outside, or we got to be able to beat guys kind of they're squeezing and tying, and you know, those are things that we got to have guys more prepared for. So I'm not going to put it on them, I'll put it on us, and we got to have them more prepared to clear off a tie, to be able to beat a deep waist. So we got to. I'll put it on me as coaches. We got to have them more prepared to do it, and then they have to execute it, though. So that's the other piece of that.
You guys had a few bright spots. Dylan Peters had a comeback win.
Yeah, you know, I mean, he took a risk. Yep. You know, in that first period, because he thought he had the wrist and was going to roll through and try to get a 2 and a 4, and you know, he's thinking about points for the team. So you know, that was good. You know, he's not a guy that does that very often. So. But then he got himself right back in the match and controlled it. You know, they did a really good job. They controlled his left hand, controlled his left elbow the whole time, trying to keep that. And the times that he was able to get it free, he was able to get to the guy pretty easy. So just, you got to understand that in certain situations, they're just going to try to manage matches. And they did a good job in that situation, because they kept bonus points off the board. And you know, in some of those matches, we weren't able to manage it very well.
Terry Lou on 142. Let's just talk about his match.
I mean, had a chance to get bonus points. You know, he came over and said, "Sorry, coach," you know, because the guy got away and he didn't get bonus points. So, you know, that's good. But I thought he controlled everything. The guy didn't really touch his legs, and that's an improvement. I think he's one of the best guys in the country. I just really do, from what I see. He's so comfortable in every position. You know, they kept saying, you know, they were setting a good pace, and I'm like, he likes the pace set really high. You know, still at 25 seconds to get a score. So you know, he gave himself a couple opportunities there. So really controlling match, and that guy's done pretty well. You know, I know they're a pretty solid team, but man, we got to be able to keep our composure better. You know, kind of things were able to get away from us, or there's a little bit of panic in some situations where kind of the tide turned. We maybe had the tide in our favor, and then the tide turned, and then it was like an avalanche. We're trying to just brace for it instead of, man, I got to be able to take a deep breath and compose myself. So, you know, those are things that really, unless you get in the fire, it's really hard to correct those.
Is that like a factor of being on the road for the first time, or?
I don't think the road. I personally don't think the road. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think just being in a match situation, you know, and maybe you're feeling a guy that, you know, he kind of smells blood a little bit, and they're going after it, and we're not really able to that fight or flight kind of happens where, and we're doing one or the other real well. And it's hard to do the flight real well because you usually get it handed to you pretty well. So I think those are things, the more that we get out there and the more we put those guys in those situations, the more they're in an environment like this, the better they'll get, or at least, you hope that, but you don't want to have that because you had some situations where now the matches went in the other guy's favor where, I think we keep our composure a little bit more and they're able to hold things together and not panic. We come on top of those matches, so we'll go back and there's a lot of learning, a lot of growth left to happen this season. Guys are still learning some pretty hard lessons of some discipline things. I mean, that's what a lot of those things come down to. You look if a guy kind of drops off in the third period, maybe there's an energy issue managing it or weight control or so whatever it is, it's got to get ironed out. I guess that's what I'm saying, and I got a pretty good idea, and I think it's different for each guy. But there were some good things. It just, boy, you got to be able to put these guys down, and you got to be able to put them down really, really hard. Hodges, that guy stayed with him. Like it was like 3, 4, 5 holds, and the guy stayed with him, and then he was kind of able to. The guy was able to kind of really seize control of that match in that situation, and that's where we got to be able to respond again. And I think the only way that you can really get through some of those things is to do it out there and not just be close against a good guy though. Like Bryce being close, yeah, you can feel good about that. Okay, you're with one of the best guys in the country, but there's a huge difference between that and actually getting your hands raised and winning that match. Because just from a confidence point of view, but I don't know. I don't think we're not far off. It just, man, you got to get back to work. You got to be able to make some adjustments when guys are beating us with a deep waist over and over and over again. You can't keep trying to turn away from it. You got to start turning into it to be able to get your hips turned over and all those things. So those are really teaching points, and I don't know how to change it in there other than the guys making adjustment. Foster made a great adjustment. Guy beat him on a couple single leg, got to a great double leg, and really kept wrestling through the match. And that was a good job from him because being able to hold up it's been a little bit of an issue for him, but it's been just holding up from mentally, not letting your energy kind of be mismanaged. And he's doing a great job of that, man. He was strong through the whole match, and you'd love to see a guy finish like that where he's got a chance to get away and his head's still on the mat. So there were some really good things, but I mean, hopefully it leaves a little bitter taste in these guys' mouths going into Christmas. I know it does for me.
Bryce Starr was right there with Jordan after Jordan's first takedown. That last double was.
Yeah, that was and I think it surprised Jordan a little bit, but it also blew his nose about wide open too. But he flinched on the next couple too, and he knew he was in a dogfight though. After that, and then Bryce did a good job riding with him, staying with him, and then actually got it to another score. I mean, that's what you want to see. You want to see, I don't care who you're wrestling. Don't care what's happening. You can turn a match around because the guy took him down and he rode him for 2 minutes. And you could kind of cower to that because, this guy, he's ranked number 2, number 3 in the country. He's been in the finals last year, so he could cower to it, but he didn't. And I guess that to me, that's a bright spot. But again, it's not a consolation prize, man. You don't get a consolation prize for that. I think hopefully he can build some confidence from that. He took a guy down. That guy doesn't give up many points. I mean, I watch a lot of his matches. He doesn't give up many points. So to see him score 2 takedowns and then just have to have awareness in that situation where the guy's looking for a reversal and had a feel where he starts coming over. It's like I said, we wanted to get rid of the riding time and he just had to feel where that guy's looking for a reversal there because he didn't want to go back up to his feet in that position. The best thing for him was to get back on top, be in the best position, and not just try to hold the guy off. But we were thinking get under a minute and then cut him and go get the score and win that dang match. But just got to be able to have some awareness in some position. I think they were just a little more seasoned than us in a lot of positions.
So you take a break now for Christmas then, and then to the scuffle.
Yeah, we got finals week, and then we'll have a short training period before guys get to go home. Got to hammer finals though right now. That's what we got to turn to. Guys got to take care of their school and manage this time off to get refreshed and not really get out of hand with our weight though. It's just we'll come back right to scuffling. The scuffle's our best in-season tournament. Besides when we get to the postseason, but this is our best in-season tournament. It's gonna be a great opportunity for our guys to really put themselves on the national scene. I've seen a lot of things that I like this first semester, and obviously what I've said is how much growth can we have? How do guys take this? How do some of the guys that had tough losses, do they kind of bare their head and feel sorry for themselves, or are we going to go back and get to work? Because the margins aren't far, but man, we got to keep doing everything in our favor to make the margin a little bit more in our favor.
Thanks, Coach.